Welcome everyone to our virtual advising Zoom workshop pre-video for fall 2021. As we're getting ready to start registration, this is some general information you all need to know before we do our one-on-ones for the workshops. So let's get started. The way we're going to do the workshops is the staff advisors, myself and Selena, will be available for all the workshops that are scheduled in the month of April. There are major specific workshops for which your faculty advisor will also be available. So for example, if you are attending a CAFS workshop, Dr. Reed is going to be there. For sociology workshops, Dr. Castlestrand and Professor Sanchez will be there. And for criminal justice workshops, Dr. Taylor would be there. For those of you who are business majors, Cindy Suniga, who is a BPA advisor, will be there. She is not your faculty advisor, but she has done a lot of our advising at AV, and she'll be joining us for those workshops. We are doing all advising appointments, including the workshops, through Runner Connect, the Runner Connect platform. So if you don't know what Runner Connect is, I do have a tutorial video explaining what Runner Connect is and how to use Runner Connect. Most of you just got that email that tells you the workshops are coming, and then when you click on the link, it automatically takes you to Runner Connect, so you might not even be aware that you're doing it through them, but that is how you're going to be scheduling all your appointments moving forward, both for workshops and for one-on-one advising appointments. If you want to do an appointment through Runner Connect, we do ask that you include your email address in the comments, just to make it a little easier for us to send you your paperwork prior to your appointment. Your faculty advisors will be available for appointments outside of the workshop month of April. And to meet with your faculty advisor, you'll just have to make sure that under the service or the reason why you're coming, you just put that you want your specific major advising, for example, CAFS advising, CJ advising, and social advising, and it's going to send you directly to your faculty advisor's availability for appointments. Don't forget that my virtual office has a lot of important information for you, including, but not limited to, I'm going to give you some of them, our tutoring services for both AV and the online nettutor.com. We have the little diploma takes you to the graduation application information as well as the commencement website. The academic calendar is available in that little calendar on the wall. If you are a liberal studies major, you have information for the ESM waiver right here. Of course, my video tutorials. A lot of the subjects I'll cover here are going to be brief and just giving you highlights. If you want more in-depth information on any of those topics, please go to the YouTube tutorial channel where I have tons of how-to guides on all the different subjects. Remember that we do have front desk hours available, and you can click on the live help button in here, and it's going to take you to speak to Stephanie, who can answer general questions for you or help you with how to do certain things if you're having trouble with them. The schedule an appointment link over here will take you through the Runner Connect website to schedule either the workshop or a one-on-one advising appointment outside of the month of April, of course. The bulletin board has a lot of dates in here that might be very useful. I have the link to the AV website. I have information for the GWAR exam. If you need to drop a class late in the term, this is how you do it. The link for walkings with Selena is here. If you need a little bit of a pep talk, I have a little You Can Do It video, which is very nice, and it really does get you a little bit more optimistic after you watch it. So if you need a little pick-me-up after midterms or finals, please take a look at those. Mike is available through the IT Help Zoom link on my virtual website, and also the class override request, which you're going to need if you're having problems with prerequisite errors for your classes. Now, if you visit my Bitmoji website prior to April 5th, that link is not going to be there because it's a little too early. After or starting on April 5th, you'll be able to see the class override link right there. Other resources would be like the campus catalog. Tuition fees are on the little wallet on the floor, and my phone number there in case you need to give me a call and ask a question. The tutoring services, remember we have them specific for AV students. Allison is a writing tutor, and she can help you take a look at those midterm or final papers. It never hurts to have a second pair of eyes kind of take a look to see if you need any grammar corrections or any formatting corrections, depending on what your instructor is asking you for. Lauren is our sociology tutor, and she can help you with either your theory classes or your research classes. Remember, sociology majors, you need a C- or better to pass those classes. So if you're struggling in any of those subjects, Lauren is very happy to walk you through research. She loves research, and she can help you make that connection to make your final assignments or papers for finals coming up. For any other subjects other than writing and sociology, do remember we have nettutor.com available to all CSUB students. You just have to register through nettutor.com/CSUBNT. These are all professional tutors with at least a bachelor's degree, but most of them have a master's and PhDs on the areas that they tutor. They can do live video, audio, or just chat if that's what you want. You can even drop off a question or drop off a paper and get some feedback on there. So if you haven't yet registered for it, please do so right away. In this video, I'm going to do basically highlights. Highlights on your student center, your registration holds, your to-do list, your registration appointment, a little bit of a cheat sheet on how to do your class searches. And remember, we will be meeting with you one-on-one for whatever workshop you are scheduled for. If you're not yet scheduled for a workshop, please remember to register for a workshop. We're going to have them throughout the entire month of April, prior to registration that starts in May. Couple of announcements regarding registration. Both summer and fall registration are going to start May 3rd. If you are registering for summer classes, it is what we call open registration. So May 3rd, everybody can register. It doesn't matter what your class status is or anything. For fall 2021 registration, even though registration starts May 3rd, everyone has a different appointment date and a different appointment time. Prior to your appointment day and time, you're not allowed to register, and those are based on your class standing. Graduating seniors go first, then seniors, then juniors. You can still put classes in your shopping cart prior to May 3rd, and that's one of the things we're going to do during your workshop. We're going to double check that you are planning the right courses for your fall registration. So we will see you prior to your registration date to make sure everything is as it should be, but you will register on your own starting May 3rd. Every class for summer classes are always online. They're always through extended learning, but I get this question a lot. Will we continue to be virtual for fall 2021? And the answer is yes, most classes will continue to be virtual for fall 2021 because they're planning the schedule of classes now based on what the current policy is. The university has said that if a class is listed as online, even if the campus reopens for fall, they're not going to change the format or the mode of instruction for that class. So you don't have to worry about enrolling for a class thinking it's going to be of a certain instructional mode and then to be switched last minute because of the policies have changed. No, there will continue to be, if they say it's online, it's going to be online. If it says it's virtual, it's going to be virtual. If it says it's one of those flex classes in which they might have you come in, maybe half of the class on one day, half of the class on the other, they will let you know in advance what that class is going to look like, and it's going to stay that way for the remaining of the fall 2021 term. Just a reminder, tuition fees are due Thursday before school starts every term, regardless of when you register for classes. So make sure you register for classes as soon as you are eligible to do so. We will have walking advisement available during the entire month of April. Walkings will be Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. with Selena. During the week of registration, we will have extended walking hours with both me and Selena to help students with any registration issues they're having. These are one-on-one meetings, but they're very short meetings, 5-10 minutes just to address whatever issue you're having with registration. This is not a time to plan for graduation or consider changing your major or adding a minor. It's usually just get you into your classes, make sure that we get your schedule set. And remember, if you have registration problems, you can always submit that class override request. You can submit it at any time. It just cannot be processed until your registration appointment becomes valid. Also, I have to manually process this, so I am processing them during office hours. You can submit it at 2 in the morning if you want, but it's not going to be processed until the next day during office hours and in between meeting with students. If you didn't know, we are currently using the degree audit to help you keep track of your graduation requirements. What that means is that we are no longer manually updating academic outlines like we did in the past. The degree audit is available on your My CSUB account. I have a full tutorial if you want to view exactly what it is, how to read it, how to do everything. Right now, I'm just going to do highlights, and mainly you're going to go to your student center. You're going to select academic requirements from the drop-down menu. You're going to click the little double arrows, and it's going to take you there. The cheat sheet version of this is we're going to give you a PDF printout with little notes prior to your workshop and a unit tally prior to your workshop, but anything that is listed with a green check mark or a purple triangle has already been met, with the exception of any pending transcripts. If you haven't submitted final grades for certain classes, it's not going to show met, but we'll let you know, hey, we're missing your transcripts for this. Anything that's currently in progress is going to have that yellow diamond on it, which means at the end of the term, as long as you get a passing grade for that class, it's going to turn into that green check mark. And anything that you still have to complete, it's going to have that red square on it. And just to make sure you don't miss it, we're going to highlight that it is still needed. And those would basically be the classes that you want to start planning on enrolling in. If it's a class that needs to be taken either ASAP or it's a fall only or a spring only class, we're going to make those notes right next to that course in your degree audit printout. We're going to include your unit minimum grid. If you're not familiar with this grid, we try to do it every term to help you keep track of your 120 unit minimum units, making sure that you have no more than 70 coming from a community college and no more than 90 coming from any other institutions, including AP classes or CLEP exams. Now, there is a difference between the number of units needed for the 120 and the number of units based on classes needed. So we do differentiate that in your unit tally. So for example, if you need 35 units to graduate, but your classes only add up to 30, you know that you're going to need 5 units of university electives. However, if your coursework, once we add up the classes that you need, exceeds the minimum, you don't need university electives. So pay attention to this grid to find out whether or not you need university electives for your degree. We also help you keep track of your upper division units. These are the 3,000, 4,000 level courses that you take after transfer, and you have to make sure that you have at least 24 earned at CSUB. Remember that residency units is courses taken at CSUB. It has nothing to do with California residency, so it's just classes at CSUB, and we will keep track of those, making sure that you'll have at least your 30 prior to graduation. There are 4 different types of GPAs that you're required to keep above 2.0. Your degree audit will keep track of those. On the very top, it gives you your CSUB and your overall, but at the end of your major and at the end of your minor, it will keep track of those GPAs as well, just to make sure all of them add up to 2.0 or higher prior to graduation. Remember, the university does a plus and minus grading system, and what this means is that most community colleges give you a solid A, solid B, solid C. At CSUB and all CSUs, they give you plus and minuses within those grades, which does affect your GPA. Whether a particular grade is considered passing for a class depends on the class itself. You can view the course description of the class, and if it says, for example, you need a C- or better, you know that you're going to need a C- or better. If it doesn't specify that a specific grade is needed, a D is considered passing. But remember that anything below a C pulls your GPA below 2.0. So you can't have too many Ds before it starts affecting your overall GPA. The GPA is most impacted on your very first semester because you come in with no CSUB GPA. So if your first semester you end up with mostly C's but a C minus, that does put your average below a 2.0, which can get you on academic probation. If you are placed on academic probation, there are workshops and information sessions that you can attend that help you figure out what grades you need to get off probation, what happens if you don't get off probation, or if you're academically disqualified. Credit, no credit classes do not affect your GPA, but they also don't help your GPA. So they don't hurt, but they don't help. There are very few classes that are credit, no credit. These are usually internships, or some of your majors might have credit, no credit classes in them. Look at the course description. It usually tells you what type of grading they use for that class. On your student center, so again, this is just a brief overview, you're going to check, the very first thing that shows up is your holds. The type of holds that you could have is the student financial services, for which you owe money to the university. The student financial agreement is just you acknowledging you understand how tuition fees work. You can read the whole information in there for specifics, but the main points of it is that if you remain enrolled in classes starting on the first day of school, you are responsible for paying those tuition fees as stated on your outstanding charges in your account. If you have an advising hold, please let me or your faculty advisor know at the time of your workshop so that we can clear that advising hold. Most of you do not have an advising hold. The university and the departments decide who gets an advising hold. Please know it is not me who decides who gets an advising hold. For this time around, some departments requested their majors to have an advising hold, and they wanted freshmen and sophomores to have an advising hold. So some of you might have transferred in with less than 60, and you, for some reason, did not submit your final transcripts, so you were listed as under 60, and that could have resulted in you getting an advising hold. If you met with me prior to that advising hold being placed on your account, let's say we met in January, and this hold was placed in March, I couldn't have possibly cleared it in January, but you can just send me an email and say, hey, we met in January, can you just clear my hold? I'll be happy to do that for you. Probation holds, like I said, you will need to attend either a Canvas learning module or attend a Zoom workshop for probation in order to clear those holds. Please know I cannot clear a probation hold or a judicial affairs hold. The judicial affairs hold is the one about the sexual harassment training, that it's an online training. If you completed your training prior to March, you shouldn't have a hold on your account. If you have not yet completed it or completed it after March, it usually takes 24 hours for that hold to clear. So as long as you finish the online training, give it 24 hours, the hold should be clear thereafter. The health services hold has to do with your immunization records. The system will let you know which immunization records they are requesting from you. You can submit them through the health center. It'll give you all the options on how to submit them at that point, and they can clear your hold at that thereafter. Items on your to-do list are usually related to financial aid. So if you're missing any of these, just make sure that you submit them, and then they'll clear those for you. Very few students should have a final transcripts or an associate degree for transfer confirmation. To-do list. To-do items do not affect your enrollment. Only registration holds affect your enrollment. So even if you're delaying on a to-do item, it shouldn't affect your registration. Also, as a reminder, the advising hold is placed on students once per academic year. So again, regardless of when was the last time you saw me, so if you saw me recently, just let me know. I'm happy to clear that for you. The registration date for fall will be right underneath that holds and to-do items. It'll give you the date, but remember that you have to click on details to see the time. The time is very important. If your appointment time is at 1 p.m. and you're trying to register at 8 a.m., the system will not let you. So make sure that you check what time your registration appointment is. If you're interested in looking for summer classes, there's a couple of information I want you to know. When you do the class searches, it is very similar to your class searches for the fall term, but it varies in the following. You're still going to select a subject for your major or your minor classes. I still recommend that you only look for open classes only unless you're registering late, in which case you want to see what is waitlisted. But if you're registering early, let's keep it to open classes only for first. So here is the main difference. You are not going to select location Antelope Valley for the summer classes because for summer, all the courses are offered through Extended University. They are not main campus, they are not AV, they're Extended U. So there's no need to put a location for summer classes. Just do your searches, leaving the location blank. I will put the link to the summer session information on the description of this video so you can go visit it, but here are the highlights for that. Main things to keep in mind, there are 3 different sessions for summer. We have 2 5-week sessions, first half of summer, second half of summer, and we have 1 10-week session that goes from June all the way to August. How you can tell which one your class is in is look at the meeting dates. This class, for example, meets from June 1st to July 7th. That means that is in the 5-week session on the first half of summer. And then the other classes would obviously have the other date range listed in there, and that's how you know which session you are adding yourself into. Tuition fees, they do provide 2 examples in that link in that website that I wanted to share with you. It shows you if you were to take 3 units as an undergraduate student, your tuition fees would be $14.27. And if you were to take 6 units, your tuition fee would be $23.27. Now, some of you ask me this all the time. Is there financial aid available over summer? Every student qualifies for different aid. So the general answer is, in order to qualify for any aid, you need to enroll yourself in 6 units minimum for them to reevaluate your financial aid awards and give you some sort of financial aid for summer. Possible financial aid available would be loans and Pell Grants. So state grants are not available during summer, but either one of these 2, loans or Pell Grants, they might offer them to you for the summer. And they should give you this information prior to the tuition fees being due so that you can make the decision of either keeping those summer classes or dropping them before you owe any money to the university, which is prior to the first day of school. For fall classes, the search is, again, pretty similar. You still do the subject with your major or minor department. Keep it to open classes only. Again, check by default. Keep it like that unless you're registering late or it's a class you can't find and you're graduating and you need it right now. Main thing here is definitely put location Antelope Valley on there. Very important. I would say more than half of the overwrite request I receive is from students not doing the searches with the location Antelope Valley. So please, please, please do location Antelope Valley on your class searches so that you're getting the right classes in here, and then just click search. There are a few main campus classes that you are able to take and that you would have to submit an overwrite for. So I figure I would give you a little bit of the distinction between the 2. So any class that is listed as a main campus class will have an enrollment requirement of main campus. You will see it there in the description, main campus. But if it's a class that it's not offered at the AV satellite and that you need in order to keep your expected graduation, then you can submit an override request. At that point, it doesn't matter that it says enrollment requirement main campus. I can overwrite that as long as you meet this criteria. Not offered at AV, and you need it to keep that expected graduation. There are other classes that are listed as location at main campus, but that the system actually says are open to either main campus students or AVC, and by AVC they mean Antelope Valley campus. We have mentioned to them that ABC means Antelope Valley College, but for them, it means Antelope Valley campus. And so if it's listed as main or ABC, it's open to AV students. You do not need an override for this class. You can just enroll in it. When searching for GE classes, the main difference is that you're going to leave the subject as blank. Don't select a subject. You're going to keep it as open classes only, as we said. You're still going to do location Antelope Valley, but when it comes right below location Antelope Valley, there is a course attribute. In the course attribute, you can select graduation writing assessment, junior year diversity requirement, or upper division general education. If you choose upper division general education, the course attribute value would populate the different upper division GE classes that you can take, which is upper division B, C, or D. You will select the one that you need specifically. It's always going to give you the choice of the 3. It doesn't mean you need the 3. It just means these are the choices for you to do your searches for. So pick the one that matches the one that you're looking for and then click search. There are more tutorial videos I have. I'm trying to keep this one as short as possible so that if you need more details on a specific topic, you can go to the YouTube tutorial videos, which you can find by going to YouTube and then just put in the search CSUB AV Advising, or you can go through my Bitmoji office and just click on the tutorial videos. But if you go there, you're going to see all of these tutorial videos that I've created. One of them is searching for classes, and I go a little bit more in depth and actually show you how to do the class searches in there. There is also one for validating your classes, which you can fast forward to the 6-minute and 30 mark. If you already know how to search for classes, but you just want to see the validating, then you want to see that video. I have short links to requesting an appointment through Runner Connect. I also have the override request link, which remember will not be live until after April 5th. So if you're watching this video prior to April 5th, you click on that, it's just going to say not available, but afterwards it will be available. And then you can always subscribe to the channel so that anytime I post a new tutorial video, it's just going to send you an email alert and then just let you know a new video has been posted on the how-to guides. I always do how-to guides for any topics that are either new or relevant or I get a lot of questions about. Some of these other ones, tutorial videos about registering for the GWAR exam, checking your email account if you're still not sure how to do that, how to set up your Nettutor account, how to view your unofficial transcripts. This one, even though it is for summer 2020, I kind of review some general information about summer classes overall. And then, Runner Connect. If you're still not familiar with Runner Connect or your degree audit, also known as my academic requirements page. All these tutorial videos have very different information that depending on what you need, you can look through to get more specifics, details to gain understanding on your academic requirements at CSUB AV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the workshops. Bye.